Your lease ends in 5 months, and after your wife's little performance tonight, I'm considering adjusting the renewal to match updated market rates. How does triple your current payment sound?" I spoke calmly, watching CEO Leonard Grant's face lose every drop of color. Just minutes earlier, he had finished boasting to the entire ballroom about how his company had found its forever headquarters. His wife, Marissa, who'd spent the entire night ridiculing my cute bargain, bin dress, and sweet attempts to mingle with the executive spouses, froze mid-sip with her glass of sparkling wine halfway to her lips. That's when she finally realized the truth. The building owner she'd ordered the property manager to pressure about urgent cosmetic upgrades. It was standing right in front of her, but the best part wasn't their shock. It was my husband, Ethan, standing off to the side, phone raised, capturing every second with the widest grin I'd ever seen. The Grant Dynamics Annual Gala was meant to be Ethan's big celebration. After 4 years of brutal overtime, he'd finally been promoted to senior director. And I'd even bought a new dress specifically for the evening. Nothing dramatic, just a sleek navy cocktail dress that fit beautifully. I'd been glowing with pride walking in beside him, right up until Marissa Grant intercepted us at the entrance. "Ethan," she squealed, kissing the air near his cheeks while looking straight through me, as if I were invisible. "So glad you could make it, and this must be your wife." That pause before wife said everything. Her eyes flicked over my outfit, dress probably from a mid-range boutique, shoes last year's style, jewelry. "A simple silver wedding band, no diamonds, Lena," I said, offering my hand. She shook it like she was afraid she'd catch something. "How lovely," she said. "Ethan, you simply must introduce her to the other wives. They adore helping newcomers learn the expectations." Ethan gave my hand a gentle squeeze, his silent apology. He'd warned me Marissa could be particular about company gatherings, but he loved his work, needed this promotion, and I thought I could manage one night of her elitist nonsense. I was wrong. The entire evening became a masterclass in polished humiliation. Marissa had been introducing me as Ethan's wife. "Isn't it sweet he married his college sweetheart?" She cooed, the implication clear, before he knew better, before he realized what a wife in this executive world truly needed. "What do you do, Clara?" one of them asked. "It's Lena," I corrected politely. "I work in real estate." "Oh, how delightful, residential," she chirped. "Helping young couples find starter homes must be so rewarding." "Commercial, actually," I said mildly. "Commercial?" Marissa laughed, that tinkling, mocking sound that always signaled trouble. "How ambitious. Does your little firm handle many properties?" "A few," I replied lightly. I didn't feel the need to mention that my company, Riverside Property Group, owned 42 commercial buildings across the city, including the very one we were standing in. Why bother? They'd already made up their minds about me. The subtle torment continued through cocktails. "Such a practical dress. I love how effortless you are. Your natural hair is very brave. It's adorable that you follow the business news." Ethan kept getting pulled into conversations with important people. Casting me apologetic glances across the room, I waved him off. It was his night. I could survive the Mean Girls Club alone. Dinner arrived, and I was seated at the wives' table. Naturally, Ethan joined the executives at their table, making connections, building relationships. Marissa presided at the head of the table, recounting their recent European vacation in excruciating detail. "Of course we stayed at the Regent Grand," she said, fluttering her eyelashes. "Ethan insists on a certain standard. You understand, Lena." "Yes, of course," I replied evenly. "Though with your husband's salary, I suppose you have to pick and choose carefully. Still, there are lovely local spots. Have you tried Maple Ridge State Park? Very affordable." "We went to the Isle of Marin last month," I said calmly. "The overwater villa was wonderful." Silence. Then Marissa's laugh, sharper now. "How extravagant. Ethan must have had quite a bonus, or did you use points?" She turned to the others. Travel points can make anything possible these days. Leonard's assistant handles it all. We paid cash. I said, I prefer not being tied to points. Another chuckle, of course. Ethan is lucky to have a wife careful with finances. Though between us girls. She leaned in conspiratorially. Be careful not to seem too eager to spend his earnings. Men notice these things. It clicked. She assumed I was a gold digger. The entire night of condescension had painted me as a grasping wife spending my husband's money. You're right, I said smoothly. Men notice things like when their landlords are unhappy. Marissa waved a hand dismissively. Oh, you don't need to worry about that. Leonard owns this building. Well, the company does. It's their crown jewel, prestigious address, prime location. They'll never have to move again. I smiled politely. How wonderful for him. Dessert arrived. A delicate pastry with edible gold leaf costing more per plate than most people's monthly rent. Marissa continued her performance, alternating between barely hidden insults and patronizing advice. Lena, dear, may I give you some guidance? I know these events can be overwhelming. The other executive wives and I want you to feel welcome. Not everyone is cut out for this world, but with effort, you could fit in better. That's very kind, I said. For instance, your dress, it's sweet, very boutique. But at these events, brands matter. It reflects on Ethan. I can introduce you to my personal shopper. She works miracles even on a budget. I'll consider it, I replied evenly. And conversation skills are crucial. You're rather quiet. Men like Leonard need wives who can work a room. Understand the game, but don't worry, it's learnable. I wasn't always this polished either. I doubted it. Marissa had been born polished, born knowing which fork to use, which designer to wear, how to make other women feel small with a smile. Thank you for the advice, I said. Oh, one more thing. She touched my arm, false concern radiating. I overheard you mentioning commercial real estate. A word of caution, don't oversell yourself. The men here deal with major players, not amateurs. It's embarrassing when wives pretend to understand their husband's world. Just be yourself. Ethan married you for who you are, not who you try to be. The lights dimmed for speeches. I watched Leonard Grant stride to the stage, puffing up with self-importance. He spoke of the company's growth, new projects, and their permanent home in this prestigious building. We're not just renting space, he declared. We're investing in our future. This building represents our commitment to excellence, our permanent home in the business landscape. We're here to stay. Thunderous applause. Marissa beamed, basking in congratulations for her husband. I stood. Excuse me, I called, my voice cutting across the ballroom. Heads turned. Leonard looked annoyed. Yes, he asked. I wanted to congratulate you on your commitment to the building, I said. As the owner, I'm always pleased when tenants are happy. Deafening silence. I'm sorry, the owner, Leonard said slowly. Yes, I replied. Lena Rivers, Riverside Property Group. We haven't formally met before. I usually let my property managers handle day operations, but since you're so committed to staying, perhaps we should discuss your lease renewal. Marissa gasped. That's impossible, she hissed. I turned to her. Which part, that I own the building, or that I've been listening to you all evening lecture me on not belonging in my own property? You're lying, she spat. I took out my phone and pulled up the official property records. Would you like to see the deed? I asked calmly. Or maybe the email your husband sent last month demanding we accelerate the renovation timeline. The one where he threatened to terminate his lease if we didn't accommodate him. Ethan was suddenly at my side, no longer recording, just standing solidly beside me like a wall. Lena, Leonard said, his voice stripped of all the arrogance he'd worn like armor all night. I had no idea. Of course you didn't, I replied. Your wife made sure everyone knew I was too insignificant to matter. Just a little homemaker pretending to be in business, married to one of your directors for his salary. I never. Marissa began, cute dress, Must be nice having a husband who buys you things. Careful about looking too eager to spend his earnings. Don't oversell yourself. I quoted her word for word, each one slicing the air like glass. Around us, the executives began pulling out their phones, no doubt Googling Riverside Property Group. The whispers were immediate. 42 commercial properties, net worth in the hundreds of millions, one of the largest landlords in the region. This is all a misunderstanding. Leonard sputtered. Marissa didn't mean, she meant every word. I cut in. Just like she meant it when she called my company little. Or when she suggested I stick to cheap vacations because I couldn't afford better, when she offered to teach me how to fit in. I turned to Marissa and smiled pleasantly. Thank you, by the way. You've shown me exactly what kind of tenants I don't want in my buildings. You can't evict us over a social slight. Leonard blurted, evict. I laughed softly, no, but your lease comes up in 5 months, and after tonight, I'll be adjusting your rate to match the current market. You're paying $28 per square foot, a holdover from the previous owner. Market is $84. That's triple, Leonard said, horrified. It is, I said, but as your wife pointed out earlier, quality comes at a price. And Leonard, you've always insisted on quality, haven't you? Marissa grabbed his arm. Leonard, do something. What would you like him to do? I asked. Show some respect. Too late for that. Apologize doesn't change much. Acknowledge that the woman he dismissed all night owns the property. We're already there. This is unfair, she hissed. No, I said. This is business, the same business you insisted I didn't understand. Lena, Ethan finally spoke softly. Maybe this should be handled in private. No, I said firmly. Your boss's wife humiliated me publicly. The correction will happen publicly too. I turned back to Leonard. Here's the final decision. You may keep your current rate for the remainder of your lease. After 5 months, you'll vacate. I already have tenants prepared to pay full price, and who actually know how to treat a landlord professionally. Please, Leonard choked. We've invested millions customizing the space. Our entire workflow is built around this location. Investments you made in my building. I reminded him, and per your lease, every improvement stays when you leave. The next tenants will love the executive conference suite you installed. Leonard turned to Ethan in desperation. Ethan, talk to your wife. Make her reconsider. Ethan smiled politely. With respect, sir, I don't control my wife, and frankly, she's the expert here. I just work for you. Not for long if she goes through with this, Leonard snapped. Are you threatening his job over a lease negotiation? I asked calmly. The entire room went silent. Everyone knew how serious that accusation could be. Leonard blanched. No, that's not what I meant. Good, then we're done. I picked up my purse. Ethan, shall we? 1 moment, he said. He grabbed 2 glasses of champagne, handed one to me, and raised his voice so the entire ballroom could hear. To my wife, Lena Rivers, owner of this building and 41 others, founder of Riverside Property Group, and the only person here tonight who kept her composure. He downed his drink, set the glass pointedly on Marissa's table, then held out his arm. I took it, and we walked out as the room stared. In the car, Ethan burst into laughter. Did you see Marissa's face when you revealed who you are? I thought she might faint. Are you okay? I asked. Your job will be fine, and honestly, I'd rather work with you. Riverside could use a CFO, couldn't it? Ethan, be serious. I am, he said. You built an empire while I was playing office politics. Why stay at Grant Dynamics when I could build something real with you? You'd leave Grant Dynamics just like that? In a heartbeat. I'm done pretending you're just a hostess. I want to be part of your company, not watch you downplay it for other people's comfort. What about your promotion? You just made senior director. A title at a company about to lose its headquarters. He smirked. Riverside looks better on a resume anyway. Real growth, real ownership. You're serious, completely, unless you don't want to work with me. Are you kidding? You're the only person I trust with the books. I kissed him. Welcome aboard, Chief Financial Officer, I whispered. Equity package included, and a car. Tough negotiator, he grinned. You have no idea, I said as we drove home, talking excitedly about the future. Behind us, the Grant Dynamics Gala had collapsed into chaos. Tomorrow, Leonard would scramble to recover. Marissa would be reckoning with her mistake. But tonight was ours, next event. Ethan said as we pulled into our driveway, You wear whatever designer you want, and everyone will know exactly who you are. Actually, I replied with a sly smile, I might wear this dress again. Turns out it's surprisingly effective. He laughed. Marissa Grant, undone by boutique fashion. No, I corrected. Undone by underestimating the wrong woman. Inside, I poured us wine while Ethan opened his laptop, pulling up the Riverside Property Group portfolio. Show me everything, he said. Every property, every tenant, every opportunity. If I'm going to be your CFO, I need to know what we're building. I teased, partnership reminder. You handle the numbers, I handle the real estate. We both handle the future. I showed him everything, properties, plans, potential. No more hiding. No more downplaying. No more pretending to be less than I am. Marissa Grant had been right about one thing. Men do notice things. And my husband had noticed that his wife was extraordinary. It just took his boss's wife insulting me in my own building for everyone else to see it, too. 6 months later, Grant Dynamics relocated to a suburban office park. Triple the rent would have been a bargain compared to what they ultimately paid. Leonard retired early. Marissa deleted her social media after the story went viral. And Ethan, he became the best CFO Riverside Property Group ever had. We now work from the top floor of the building Grant Dynamics once occupied, the one with the executive conference room they had renovated so generously. For us, sometimes the best revenge isn't cold. Sometimes it's served at exactly market rate, with a lease reflecting current values. $84 per square foot, non-negotiable. Just ask Marissa Grant if you want proof.